What's going on, everybody? C4, welcome back to the channel, and today we're here for a new Madden 22 realistic rebuild with the Chicago Bears. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there, all the Americans, Canadians. We already had our Thanksgiving, but I love partaking in American Thanksgiving Day on Thursdays. And, it's about time you sit back, you watch football, you be a piece of crap all day, and hopefully in between the commercials, in between the games, you're checking into this video, and I very much appreciate that. For the face cam, I just got to update the drivers and stuff like that. I'll do it for next time, so if you're missing my beautiful face, it will be in tomorrow's video, which will most likely be another episode of the Eagles franchise. Really loving the all Madden sliders that we found for that Eagles franchise, so that'll be coming to you guys tomorrow. But today I felt like it's Thanksgiving. Why not do a traditional Thanksgiving team, as we actually, oddly enough, start here at week 12. And we've already built the Lions. Don't really feel like doing the Cowboys. So I was like, hey, we have yet to do the Bears in a realistic rebuild. What a better time than now. So as we get ready to go into this video, I would love to just a simple like goal, 1,000 likes on today's good video. And that I will be very thankful. Taking a look at our roster here. There's one little liberty we will be taking with our roster just because there's no... we're up to date for the most part. I had to sim the previous week, so for the Bears, I don't want to rehash it because I actually put money on the Bears, but they did lose to the Baltimore Ravens with Tyler Huntley at quarterback. It's painful, but they also put Khalil Mack on IR. He is still healthy, so I just figured, what little juice we can get from this year, I'll keep Khalil Mack in there because he might be able to, start getting up from that 94 overall. He's, got a ways to go. So I was like, yeah, whatever. That'll be the one liberty I take right now, starting live in this season for the Bears. I mean, looking at the Bears, I like it from the other view. But we have Justin Fields at quarterback, and I think we've seen enough this year in splashes of a franchise quarterback in Justin Fields. I think there's a lot of franchises around the league that would rather have Justin Fields than what they do have at quarterback. You don't know. You think right now, you think the Denver Broncos are so happy they got Teddy Bridgewater and didn't draft Justin Fields? Probably not. So this is going to be a Justin Fields rebuild. I mean, insanely overpowered Madden quarterback, and I'm excited to develop him. Hopefully we can get him up to an X factor before this rebuild is all said and done. But starting on a star, we got some stuff to do. Running back room, also it's pretty damn good. You got David Montgomery there, 84 with a star dev, only 24 years old. And Williams is there. Tariq Cohen, probably not going to be able to re-sign him. Did he get a new contract? Or is he did they re-sign him? Oh, they did. All right, so we got Tariq Cohen. They got Khalil Herbert out of Virginia Tech. He's a nice-looking rookie. Wide receiver, we got Allen Robinson, who forever has just been labeled like the most underused, most undervalued wide receiver in the NFL. So hopefully he becomes a big part of this rebuild. 85, almost 86 superstar. You pair that with Danielle Mooney, who's 79 star, and we have 2/3 of a wide receiver room. I think there's absolutely room to add a third one. I'm thinking off the top of my head, just what draft prospect, what realistic draft prospects should the Bears be targeting? The first thing I'm like, we need one of those Ohio State wide receivers, or we need Treylon Burks. We need a wide receiver. Now, that as we go through the rest of this roster preview, it might not be unanimous, but I'm thinking already, it's getting the wheels spinning about targeting a wide receiver in this upcoming draft. Tight end, Jimmy Graham's there, but I think Cole Kmet is long-term. The guy that we need to consider, 74 star, 22, high ceiling for sure, coming out of Notre Dame. Offensive line, Tevin Jenkins is hurt, but he is going to be our long-term option at left tackle, 70 with a dev trait. Whitehair's solid. I don't know if we can ride him until the end of year 5, but he's a solid placeholder for the time being. James Daniels at right guard should be plug and play for the main of this rebuild, but we need a center. We're going to need a right tackle. So that's never fun, drafting linemen, but you got to do it, man. You got to do it. Then you flip to the defense with the veteran Akeem Hicks for a 5-year rebuild. I don't know how well he's going to hold on to that rating. I assume the regression is going to be a little rough there. 87 with a star dev, yeah. So we might need to start planning for life beyond him. Nichols is solid though. We got a guy 77 star dev, only 24. So he should be a big part of this rebuild. D-tackle Eddie Goldman is also fairly solid, 79 star. He is 27, so that could be a little bit of a difficult contract to navigate, but as it stands right now, I'm definitely putting him in as you look at the players that are going to be here for the next foreseeable future. Maybe not all 5 years, but maybe for the next 3 years, and Goldman's on that list till he's 30. Yeah, Khalil Mack, he's Khalil Mack. We're going to need him to be an absolute god, double-digit sacks every single year to justify that contract, which I think he can. You have Roquan Smith, who might be the best might be the best middle linebacker in football today. I don't know. That could be a slight hot take. I will say this, and I'm not a Bears fan, but I don't hate the Bears. He should be superstar. Him being a star, I feel, is disrespectful. He is very, very good. But we run that 3-4. We need that second partner in crime middle linebacker, which isn't really on the roster right now. But we can find those guys. We need another edge rusher. Robert Quinn feels like he's been in the league for longer than 10 years. I literally feel like Robert Quinn was in the league for the Rams when I was in like junior high school, which actually he might have been. But he's solid. He's still getting production, but we need to get younger there for sure. Corner, we have Jalen Johnson, who's really solid. 81 start, have only 22, so there's a nice little corner piece you can build around. But other than that, lacking depth. I'm seeing like edge rusher. I'm seeing wide receiver. You could go O-line, but I think corner could also be an easy upgrade position for the Bears for the first couple drafts. Eddie Jackson at free safety. He's been seems kind of overrated. I think like Bears fans are kind of like, Eddie Jackson needs to play better. He's not giving us enough. 87 star, 27. I mean, for a rebuild standpoint, it's very good. But maybe his Madden rating is not kind of correlating with the production that you're getting from him on the field in real life. And then Gibson there at strong safety. Santos at kicker. Pat O'Donnell at punter. And it's just, we don't have that first rounder. So we're going to have to hope someone juicy slides to the second round. And then in 2023 do most of our damage. Maybe a good free agency class. I don't know. This is a slightly difficult rebuild with no first round pick right away. But we have Justin Fields. We have a quarterback in place. I think let's just see right now, though. Can we beat Detroit? This guy, if we beat Detroit, we are going to win a Super Bowl this week. If we lose and give the 0-9-1 Lions their first victory, this is going to be an uphill battle for the entirety of this rebuild. And, hey, we kicked the crap out of them, 38-50. Let's go. So let's finish out here year one and get into the offseason. So at the end of our first season, we actually kind of finished the season really, really strong. 9-8 the Bears finished. I will say there was a little bit of Klimek. Klimek got Defensive Player of the Week twice. So that's, they don't really have him in real life. But still, 9-8, all we did was make our second round pick a little bit harder. So there's no positives that really came out of us coming 9-8. But looking at our squad, I mean, there is a positive, is that, this team looked good. Knowing that we're taking this over, this team should be fine. Look at that. Justin Fields played, a third of the season, it feels like. And 3,500 yards, 24 touchdowns. 12 interceptions. I just think massive things ahead for Justin Fields as we go forward. Running the ball, we just stuck over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns for David Montgomery. Happy seeing that. Receiving, Mooney, 72 catches, 984 and 9, which is solid. Allen Robinson missed some time. He finished with 846 and 5. Cole Kmet, 700 yards. That looks fairly solid. You can still see, though, there's room for that third wide receiver. And I don't know if I want to get in the territory of having, Tariq Cohen playing in the slot. I mean, we could do that. Just get our best players on the field. But, that'll be more so something we evaluate after free agency, after the draft. Roquan Smith, a machine. I'm going to be very upset if he does not go up a dev trade. 155 tackles, 8 TFLs, 5.5 sacks, 3 picks. I genuinely think he's the best middle linebacker in football. And I'll say that. Let me go look at some, just to make sure I'm not overreacting. 12.5 sacks, Robert Quinn, Aegis Wonder. 16 sacks for Khalil Mack, 2 picks, Jalen Johnson there. But, who at this point, here would be the argument. It would be what linebackers, if I was building a team right now, if you said C4, you're building a team, bud, what middle linebacker would you take over Roquan Smith? And the answer, Bobby Wagner's older, so I'd rather go Roquan. You got Devin White. I think Roquan is more well-rounded than Devin White. Maybe not as good an athlete. And then you got Eric Kendricks. He's younger. Fred Warner. Maybe Fred Warner's in that conversation. You got Levante David. He's a veteran at this point. You got Darius Leonard, more of turnover monster than he is well-rounded. I just think, I don't know. Is that a hot take or not? That if you're telling me right now, for the next 5 years, this is a 5-year rebuild, what middle linebacker would you pick if we're doing a fancy draft? It got to be Roquan, right? MVP went to Tom Brady. I love seeing Jalen Hurts at number 3. That's actually insane. In the NFC, I was playing with Brady. We had Hassan Riddick with old Khalil Mack coming at number 4. Roquan at number 6. Offensive rookie went to Justin Fields. Awesome. I don't know if we're going to get any sort of juice off of that in terms of dev traits, but that's kind of cool. Khalil Herbert at 8. Defensively, nothing really there. And then for the rest of the individual awards, no Chicago Bears. We just, close the season out, got some wins. Justin Fields showed a lot. But it's all about this offseason. Plus, I got to get some contracts going here. So at the end of the year 1, 42-21, the Packers beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl with former Bear Adrian Amos getting Super Bowl MVP. Okay. I see you. But what about our team? Dev traits. Justin Fields, Roquan Smith, those are two that I'm looking at. There could be a surprise in here. No dev for Justin Fields. No dev for anyone on offense. Defensively, hey, here we go. Akeem Hicks went up to superstar. We got Roquan Smith up to superstar, rightfully so. That's a win. All right, so we have our contracts. These are the players that did not get an extension in season in real life with the Bears. Unfortunately, we kind of waited a little late. We got Bilal Nichols. I would like to give him a 4-year deal, and we'll round all these numbers up. 4-year, $33 million. He is happy to stay here. Daniel Williams, replaceable. James Daniels, not replaceable. This guy, 5 years. Give him pretty much whatever it'll take to get him to sign on. Let's go 6.5, 3.15, and we got him locked up. Akeem Hicks. Look for a 2-year deal. I'll offer him this at face value. If he wants to stay, he'll stay. If he goes free agency, which he does, we'll have to get younger. And then we got Allen Robinson at wide receiver. I think, again, another player that I'll offer him a little bit more. But if he wants to move on to brighter pastures, by all means, I'm not going to be offended. And actually, he signs on. So the only guy that leaves, I actually think would be the only guy of these players that for sure is like Chicago through and through in Akeem Hicks. I'm not going to franchise tag him, but we still have more than enough money to, bring him back on a 1-year type rental on the open market. So for our first free agent period, had some bucks, not crazy bucks, and I think we've done okay if we can get everyone back. So with Akeem Hicks, no other offers, so I figure offer him the same contract that we threw on the table originally, and if he wants it, he'll come back. No hard feelings. We got Fox. Let's get away the only superstar from our divisional rival Detroit Lions. We need a punter. I got Mike Hughes, who seems to have done better. I think he's with the Chiefs right now than he was. Kind of a first-round bust for the Vikings, but he's 25 with that star dev at 77. He could be a guy that comes in and really long-term, like that 4-year deal for the remainder of the rebuild, be that corner 2 and still gives us room with Jalen Johnson to draft that corner 3. And then I'm looking at Malik Hooker, another second chance opportunity. More so, we'd move him to strong safety, or Ed Jackson to strong safety with the age and dev trait 26-76. Star dev, there's something there. All right, I'll take that. We got everyone outside of Malik Hooker. So we got a corner 2, we got a starting defensive end, and a punter. Sets everything up for the draft where we can go safety, we can go wide receiver, we can go offensive line. Those are our 3 positions that we want to target ahead of the 2022 NFL draft. Let's look at this mock draft just to get an idea of the kind of players that may slip. Like, what do we got down here? These are guys that could be there in the second round. I mean, again, Elam, not so much a safety. I do think there will be some safeties on the board. Catalan is gone. Brandon Joseph. There's only 3 safeties going in the first round. So I do think there will be a couple that we'll have an opportunity at in the second round. Save for wide receiver. We're not going to get Garrett Wilson, unfortunately. We're probably not going to be able to get, Chris Olave, but maybe a Burke slips. I feel like there could be some juicy names at wide receiver as well in the second round. All right, let's just get right to the point. Get to our user picks. So we're going to be picking what, like 14, 12, 13, 14? 18th. Okay, that's way higher than what I thought. So wide receiver, offensive lineman, safety. That's what we're looking. We got Jamison Williams at wide receiver, Drake London, Jahan Dotson. I will say, Jamison Williams, I just used him in the last rebuild, so I'm a little less inclined to go that direction. Drake London, Jahan Dotson, I feel like I'm a little more optimistic going there. In terms of the offensive line, we got Charles Cross, a couple guys there at tackle. That could be nice. We're more so like what we got. Center Stromberg could be a nice selection. Might have a dev trait. Abe Lucas at tackle. Penning could be right now. Again, when we update the rankings, he's getting some first-round buzz out of Northern Iowa. What do we got for safeties? Or linebacker as well. We could get younger at the edge, but I don't know. We got Devin Lloyd still there. Chris Allen from Alabama. Brenton Cox. Okay, what do we got? Safety. Jordan Battle, Tyke Smith, Daxton Hill. Jaquan Brisker is still on the board. That's actually a pretty solid pick. I just think we got to go wide receiver and then hope that there's someone else there. I think for me, knowing what we have Allen Robinson and Drake London kind of surplus. I feel like you need more so. We have our jump ball possession guy in Allen Robinson, and we just gave him a brand new contract. So I think that kind of opens things up here for Jahan Dotson from Penn State. More of a burner, gadgety, a little bit more in line with, what we got with Danielle Mooney. Deep threat, 93 speed, 93 acceleration, 91 speed, 95 agility, 94 change of direction. Plus, we get to see that base overall. It's probably going to be pretty good. Biggest thing, hidden dev trait, baby. Let's go. So draft recap time. Let's see what we got for the rest of my draft. Wasn't anything special. That's why I didn't chop up any clips. But let's see. So we got Jahan Dotson, 70. Hidden dev. Okay. Deep threat. No, he's a great athlete. 78 catching, though. That's a little harsh, if I do say so myself. But got another playmaker. We got our third playmaker. He's going to have a big impact as a rookie. Stromberg. We got a center out of Arkansas, third round. 68 normal dev. Actually might have a chance to start for us. We got Jack Sanborn. Another good value pick. 68 overall in the 5th round. We got Josh Wiley from Cincinnati coming in to be tight end 2, more so to fill up that Jimmy Graham role. Great receiver there, was a safety net for Desmond Ridder at Cincy. And then we finish out with Derek Hall in the 6th round, edge rusher from Auburn. Just more so depth at this point. But I think there's a legitimate shot at some point. Our first 3 picks, between obviously Dotson's supposed to be a starter, but Stromberg and maybe even Sanborn, depending on how much Danny Trevathan regressed, we could have 3 rookie starters here as we gear up for year 2 of this rebuild. So we're here for year 2. Let's get a preview of the roster. Just heard the baby wake up in the other room. I got to go to attend that, but first I got to tell us what the roster looks like in the 2nd round. Squishy? That's our nickname for her. That's not our actual legal name, okay? All right, here's our team. We got Justin Fields. And given the fact that what he did in limited game time, I'm very, very optimistic. If not this year, next year, his production will give him a dev trade increase, which is what we need. That is very important for this team going forward. Other than that, though, we got Tevin Jenkins back, healthy, at left tackle. Right tackle, we got just this guy, Dennis Kelly. Legendary Eagle. We got Stromberg is going to get the start at center. Cole Kmet. Everything else pretty much remains the same. The skill position spot outside of our premier selection, Jahan Dotson, who I hope integrates himself very, very quickly in this starting offense. Defensively, again, kind of the same. We re-signed Akeem Hicks, who went up dev trade. We got Eddie Goldman, Nichols, Robert Quinn. I'm going to give Sanborn the opportunity. He's 68, James Rathan 70. Just makes more sense. A lot more upside with Sanborn right now, given the starting reps. Roquan Smith, 90, superstar. We have Khalil Mack, regressed 2 points, but he's still 93 X Factor. He should be an absolute beast. Secondary, we have Eddie Jackson. I'm going to go Tease Tabor at strong safety. Just didn't have enough money to re-sign everyone. There wasn't a great safety market, especially after Malik Hooker kind of declined us and the safety board didn't really fall to us in the draft. So sure, maybe Tabor, who, is always a solid DB, just not a good athlete. Can't transition to strong safety. We got Mike Hughes, who we did land in free agency to pair with Jalen Johnson. So it's a work in progress, but I think we're slowly starting to gather the pieces up here. We got 9-8 last year, a very strong finish to the year. I think this year, 9-10 wins should be, our bare minimum expectation. But to be honest with you, big picture for this year is really just getting Justin Fields a dev trade increase. So as we come on to our bye week, we are 5-4, 2nd place in the NFC North, which is pretty solid. Look at the team overalls. It is a very, very developing roster, which is great news for us. We actually have a breakout scenario here ahead of our Week 11 game against the Arizona Cardinals, and it is Jalen Johnson, star dev corner out of Utah, looking to get a superstar dev. That would be huge for the back of the defense to get someone in that secondary, a big-time dev trait. We will check that out. We'll send that one live, but we're going to look at some contracts here, and actually looks a little bit on the light end. Tabor, honestly, if he has good production, I absolutely will re-sign him. Maybe that's Gator bias. I'm not exactly sure. But we'll wait and see. But it seems two obvious contract signings here. We have David Montgomery wants a 5-year deal. I think he's absolutely a guy that can carry the load and be consistent, so I'll pay him a little bit more. He'll probably get this done, $39 million. And then we got Roquan Smith, a linebacker. He needs to be, he's one of the stars of the rebuild. He's one of those guys that's in consideration to make the thumbnail, for God's sake. So we'll make sure we can handle a contract extension for David Montgomery. He's not leaving this Bears organization. All right, let's see if we get that dev trade. It'll be dope. Go 6-4. Get Jalen Johnson, superstar. We won 33-7. That should be fairly... He had a pretty... Oh, my God. You get a scoreline like that, you got to be hitting on those dev traits. Oh, he just hit me. Oh, no. He just hit me with the I don't wanna. Okay, from here on out, I'm going to spend all... This is a crisis. Did I catch that in the video? I don't know if I was recording it. He would not want to go on the free agency. So from now on, I guess we're going to be spending all of our staff points to get oh man, I think that's at the bottom. I don't know if I'm going to be able to earn that in one season. Okay, well, that's going to be our plan right now, is for the remainder of this year. I mean, we could always tag him, I suppose, which is not uncommon for running backs. I do not want David Montgomery leaving this team. Okay, we have Tabor at strong safety, trying to completely redeem himself. Him getting off normal dev to a star dev. That would actually be an interesting wrinkle for the 8-5 Bears. Let's see what happens here. We have the Giants. We lose. But do we hit the dev for Tabor? Oh, god damn it. 0-2. And, you throw the fact Montgomery straight up, gave us the middle finger, flipped us the bird in terms of landing a 4-year contract extension. This has not been a great year, too. So we're at the end of year 2. We made the playoffs, second place in the NFC North, 10-7 record. And we actually get to find out right away against the Packers in the wild card who the best team is in the NFC North. But I did take the priority here of just, this is also a reason why we need to win this game and go on a little bit of a run. And I mean, it's not that big of a deal because we can franchise tag Dave Montgomery. We're about to see just what kind of production he had this year. But, we have an ability at the bottom of the player personnel talent tree to unlock a player who is not interested in resigning. That's what we need. We need 36 staff points to be earned during this playoff push. I don't think you get anything for the offseason. So I think it's going to be tough. I think we're going to have to go on a legitimate, got to make the championship probably to have a chance at getting a long-term extension with Dave Montgomery this year. Looking at the stats, what do we got here? Big picture for the league. Nothing insane. I'll tell you right now, Jack Sanborn with 144 tackles looks incredible next to Roquan. Justin Fields did not play. He didn't have a bad year at all. I think that for a sophomore season, 3,900 yards, 31 touchdowns, 13 picks is acceptable to good in that range. But, I mean, priority still is getting this guy a dev trade, and you're not going to get it. You need a bigger year than that. But, I mean, just a little bit more. You give me 4,200 yards, 35 touchdowns, he could be playing himself into superstar upgrade territory. That is why we need Dave Montgomery, 1,500 yards, 15 touchdowns. Gonna have to try to replace 1,100 yards for Allen Robinson, 8-5 for the rookie Jahan Dotson, 7-5 for Cole Kmet, 7-11 for Danielle Mooney. That's a big-time season there. Defensively, Sanborn, 144 tackles, 143 for Roquan. It was a competition, but we always will give credit to the guy with the more solo tackles. Insane production from Khalil Mack, 18.5 sacks on 15 TFLs. Very, very acceptable. 3 picks, Roquan Smith. Honestly, I think there's actually a chance Tabor goes up dev trade. Could give us, a little bit of a project at strong safety. MVP went to Aaron Rodgers. So that's awesome. We have to take on the MVP right away. You see rookie Malik Willis of the Giants had a hell of a year. NFC Offensive Player of the Year went to Zeke Elliott. Defensive Player of the Year went to Brian Burns. Khalil Mack, runner-up there. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Malik Willis. Jahan Dotson, runner-up here. Defensive Rookie of the Year went to Jack Sanborn. So that's just an outrageous rookie class for the Chicago Bears. QB went to Rodgers. I think for individual awards, probably not having anything outside of linebacker going to Khalil Mack. And good knowing Antonio Brown and Aaron Rodgers are absolutely tearing it up. And that's what we have to deal with in the first round of the playoffs. So I kind of feel good about, just keeping it. I guess we probably should meet these playoff meetings just because they tend to give you an opportunity to earn more staff points. So they're calling for a blizzard. We got Akeem Hicks saying, I played football in Canada. So we're going to, what? We just by opening that scenario, it made our players worse. So what about this? What about this press conference? So I have an opportunity to get more staff points. I think this needs to be a chess match. We got to be the more, I guess it gives us goals to hit for more staff points, but nothing directly. Sometimes you get things, they just go through the press conferences. It's like, hey, here's +5 staff points. And we lost. No other way around it, man. 35, it was close. But, I mean, that's just different teams, man. We're at different spots. Packers, if they still get Aaron Rodgers, yes, they lost Devontae Adams, but you plug and play Antonio Brown into that lineup. They got Aaron Rodgers. This is the end of their window, and seeing Justin Fields do that kind of performance in his first playoff game, 4 touchdowns, 250. Run game wasn't great, wasn't bad. Receiving 2 touchdowns from Montgomery, just showing he's worth every bit of money that hopefully we're going to have to tag him on. So it's going to be, 12 million, 13 million, something stupid. and then hold on to a contract extension next season. A sack for Hicks. Wasn't a bad showing here from the Bears in year 2. I honestly didn't expect the playoffs. And we made it, and we look good. And now it's all about, just this offseason getting a lot better. Season recap, and anytime the Cowboys lose in the Super Bowl, it's good from a neutral standpoint. 24-20, the Titans, with Super Bowl MVP Derrick Henry, get the job done. We only have 17 stat points, so it's not enough to help out our dude. But as we close out the season, we got almost $50 million in salary cap, which will help us franchise tag. I actually thought there might have been a chance he went up dev trade. He did not. Jahan Dotson, silver dev. Not what we're looking for. But it is what it is. Defensively, any dev trade increases. We have Roquan up to an X factor. Like, again, Sanborn. Like, I honestly feel maybe this is like people. Oh, it's too easy. I think if you have a normal dev rookie of the year, they should automatically go up. Like, there's no way. With the tackles too, man. Like, what's going on here? Like, what's Roquan doing that Sanborn isn't to go up a dev trade? I will never understand the mystery that is the dev trade increase at the end of the season. That isn't Madden. I'm almost confident to say that it's broken. But let's stay here live, man. Might as well here. We're going to go re-sign some players, and it's really just one guy that we're going to have to franchise tag in David Montgomery. And it's obviously the franchise tag is kind of set every single year. I don't know if it's fluid, but it's franchise tag once. 1 year, $15 million. That is a lot for a running back. But he was essentially our offense last season. Can't let that go out the door for free. Especially when there's no comp picks in Madden. For free agency, we're going to go all in. We don't have a lot of money, even though we actually have good salary cap health, I suppose. It's just we got to get off the franchise tag for David Montgomery. But right now, Jonah Williams, 25 star dev, 80 overall. That is a franchise piece on the offensive line, as good as it gets in terms of free agents. So I'm offering him insane amount of money to come. Obviously that's a tough one because the Bucs are really good, but hopefully, I have spent a lot of points, skill points, to get those free agency boosts. We can land Jonah Williams, and we have our offensive line pretty much set for the remainder of this rebuild. Come on, man. I got max offensive line free agency signing, and I overpaid by a lot. Yes, sir. Welcome to the Bears, Jonah Williams. So as we get to pick 22 in the first round, kind of got an idea of where we want to get better. You look at the strengths and weaknesses of our squad. Offensively, we're good, right? Offensive line kind of put together now that we have Jonah Williams at right tackle. So we're kind of now at a spot where it's like, well, we already have a very good defense. Can we have a better defense? Where do we get? Can we get younger on the front? And you look at the front, can't see. Is fringe scheme fit, not a perfect scheme fit. We could go Ivagbe from Alabama, first rounder. Interested. I'm interested. Tim Smith, Zach Pickett. Tim Smith, kick him to defensive end. He could be the successor for Akeem Hicks. Linebacking core, could use a pass rusher. BJ Ojulari. We got to find someone like take over for Robert Quinn. That actually might be the pick. I think. I have used him before in rebuilds, but that might be the pick. We got Jaden Hill at corner from Florida. That's also a very good selection because we still need that third corner. And we're still getting production out of, Jaquarius Conley. Ooh, okay. I feel like this might be Conley time. We don't have a strong safety. He's insane for North Carolina. 6'4", 210. I think he's kind of BPA right now. Hidden dev trait, 6'4", 88 acceleration, 88 speed. Let's go. And going into the second round, looking still on the defensive line here. Cansey is still available. First rounder. I feel like, why not? Shot in the dark. Maybe there's a reason why he's slipping. Maybe not. All right, let's finish the end of this draft here. The board was the board, right? There's no other way. And if you're not having the S tier top 5 pick, you kind of just got to take what the draft gives you. Let's go to the recap. So we know we hit on the hidden dev in Conley. He's 73. Not super overpowered, but a 73 hidden dev strong safety that's going to start day one at a position that tends to get dev trade increases more than other positions. I think that's a win. Almost a perfect scheme fit. Cansey was slipping. Still not a bad pick. 68 normal dev. I'll take that. We had Dwight McGlothern from LSU in the third round. 68 normal dev. Could be something developmental there. Rosenthal on the O-line, Jawan Briggs, D-line, and then Zach Hines, small school player, to fill out the depth at tight end. But hey, hidden dev, let's go. Back-to-back years, it's only one. Would have been nice to say back-to-back years. We got 2-3 players with hidden devs, but at least we're not swinging out. And we have a guy with a lot of upside to add into our secondary. Year 3 for the Bears, and you can tell. Look at that. 84s across the board. Offense, defense, base overall. This team is starting to come together. Look at where we are at after our second offseason, second draft. Not too much really has changed. Offensive line, we threw in Jonah Williams now at right tackle. Kind of brings that whole, that's a silver O-line. You can win with a silver O-line. And then we got Stromberg there in the middle. Really, just looking at this offense, Jahan Dotson, looking to see him take another step in his second year in the league. It still just comes down to the same thing it came down to last year. It's like, let's get Justin Fields a dev trade increase. Looking at the defense, front three, exact same. Linebacking core, not as much. This is just one of those things you can't get every position, so we're kind of stuck. We got Trevis Gibson, 72. He's only 26. Again, another guy, maybe because of that normal dev, could get a dev trade upgrade. I don't know, but it's the Khalil Mack show. It's the Roquan Smith show. Let's see if Jack Sanborn, the defensive player of the year from last year, can take another step. Jaquarius Conley was our big hit in the draft. 73. He's built like a linebacker, 6'4", 210. Hidden dev. Excited to see what he can do there. We got Mike Hughes, Johnson. Still need a third corner. There's still pieces missing as we go into year 3. We definitely need a corner 3. Definitely need another edge rusher on the other side of Khalil Mack. You could argue, even though we got Cansey there, somewhat of a slide from last year's draft, probably need a Keem Hicks replacement. And then you flip onto the offense, it's, dev trade only. But for this year, I think we can make the playoffs again, and that should be the bare minimum. Okay, we got a chance here early in the season. Trevis Gibson, the left outside linebacker, kind of starting because there was no one else. He has an opportunity to go up dev trade service. He's 26, so star dev could go away to be like a little bit of a project here for the Bears. We're starting out hot, 3-1. Did we hit it for Gibson? We actually did not. Let's stay here though, because it looks like we have another breakout. Hopefully it's not an offensive player, because he's just got to hit it automatically. And it is for Jalen Johnson. I think this is the second dev trade scenario he's had so far, and he's looking to go from superstar to star to a superstar. I wish I could say he'd be going from a star to an X Factor. But let's see what he can do here against McCaffrey. Big time victory, 35-24, and Jalen Johnson. Swing and a miss. So the midway point, year 3, 6-2. And we have, we're going to talk about some contracts. We have a weekly award winner, and it was Justin Fields, 400 yards, 4 passing touchdowns in a victory over the Chiefs, where both players balled out, him and Patrick Mahomes. But let's take a look at our contracts here. We've slipped up. We've been lazy. Sometimes I let the contracts slip through the cracks. Not going to happen this year. Going to be fairly expensive, I think. Some big contracts need to get handled. We'll start here with Cole Kmet. I want to get an idea how much salary cap. We have a lot of salary cap. We have over $100 million as like our starting spot, which is good. So let's see. We got Cole Kmet locked up. Done. Eddie Goldman wants a 1-year deal. I'll give him that 1-year deal. I don't want to pay too much more, and he takes it. We got Akeem Hicks, 85. Again, another player. If he'll take a 1-year deal, fine. And all that being understood is that they're both on 1-year deals. So maybe at the draft, we look at getting their successors at the position for the final 2. Because even you would argue, even for year 4 and year 5, these guys are going to regress. I don't know if we can win with them, but they're good for another year. We have Danielle Mooney, who's been a playmaker for us out wide at wide receiver. Let's see if we can give him a 5-year deal just to lessen the salary cap hit just a tad. Got him locked up. He's happy to be here. We have Jalen Johnson, man who's had 2 dev trade scenarios. He's just itching to go up to a superstar dev, so maybe we can bank on that potential here. And last but not least, we have the man that we franchise tagged, and we're going to be very happy to take his salary cap hit. He signed from, almost $15 million to a $5 million cap hit. And with all that being said and done, roughly, let's just see, we're going to have almost $50 million bucks to spend on this open market if there is an upgrade that we need to bring in. Just to hype up what I think is actually going to be a breakout year for Justin Fields, just simmering our way along here. We beat the Saints, and another player of the week, did have the pick, 5 touchdowns. I'm thinking this could be one of those years he gets a 40 bomb or something. Dude, these numbers are insane. 46 touchdowns, 4,800 yards for Justin Fields. I mean, he's on an absolute tear right now, and we have three. Like, he's going to get 50. He's going to be our first guy, I think, that gets 50 touchdowns. Let's just do it, man. I want to see it happens live. Because this special, man, for like, we had what? With Wentz, we had one big year with Carson Wentz. Ooh, only 10 points there. So he did get a touchdown. He's up to 47. I mean, we're also watching our playoff hopes here as well. We still have 2 more weeks. Wow, 13! I don't think it was going to, it almost feels too good to be true to let us have a 50 touchdown season. Even though they're not that uncommon. Look at that, man. Our offense just stinks the bed up. 49 total for Justin Fields. We win the NFC North, which is good. Get to find out right away. And as you can see from that leaderboard there, Baker Mayfield had 48 touchdowns. It was right behind us. I really just wish I could figure out, like, why. Like, if there's some... I mean, okay, we know the Bears playbook tends to be very cheesy in the sim. So that's, I'm not shocked. But, like, this is day and night. Like, why? What happened? Did we... I didn't sign a wide receiver. I got a tackle. To go from... I mean, that 1 year doesn't count. 39 and 31 to 56 and 49. Like, where'd the nitrous oxide? To put in a nice little, Fast and Furious. It's a little family. Like, he just hit the NOS this season, right out the line. 49! He got to be MVP. And another insane year, David Montgomery, 1,400 yards, 15 times. Like, where was this a year ago? We also, okay, well, technically, because Fields did kind of stink up the joint offensively last 3 weeks, he did go over 51 total touchdowns. I think that's the most we've seen from a quarterback. 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, Allen Robinson. 14 and 15 for Jahan Dotson. 12 and 14 for Danielle Mooney. And then we got 850 and 7 from Cole Kmet. 500 yards, David Montgomery. So David Montgomery also 50 yards shy of going over 2,000. This is the most potent offense I've ever seen. And why was it not like this last year? Like, that's just my problem. And I'm not saying that as like, man, Madden sucks. It's so unpredictable. Like, did I do something? Did, 16 sacks, Khalil Mack, 12 and a half, and 13 from Gibson. Okay. Then we got 5 picks, Roquan, 4 for Jalen Johnson, sorry. But, I want to know did I do something as he got robbed of MVP? 52 touchdowns. I'm all over the place because there's just so much coming. What I'm trying to spit out here is that what did I do last offseason to this offseason outside of just Justin Fields developing, I guess, to do this? Because I want to know the blueprint. Is there a blueprint here to have your quarterback just almost double his touchdowns? Because it wasn't like if I signed Allen Robinson or something like that this offseason, I was like, oh man, we really just needed a wide receiver 1. We have the 2 best wide receivers in the division. And Jahan Dotson last year had 600 yards? I need to figure this out for future rebuilds. Because that means, if there's something there outside of, hey, just saying the Bears playbook absolutely works. Because, offensively, we brought back David Montgomery. We brought in Jonah Williams on the offensive line. So it's can we just chalk this up to, hey, getting a complete offensive line, getting a juicy right tackle will have your quarterback go for 50 touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? That's the only change. The only new guy on the offense was Williams. So I don't know. I mean, proof's in the pudding. Can we do it again next year? Who knows? Can we even win a playoff game? Well, we'll find that out right now. We got the Packers. Baker Mayfield had as unbelievable... You can almost argue Justin Fields with the Bears and the sim. That happens, okay? That can happen. Baker Mayfield going for 50 touchdowns on the Packers, little less believable. And he actually won the battle here today. They ran the ball all over us. Defensively, Roquan tried his darndest. Could not protect the quarterback. Rashawn Gary's getting a sack and a pick. What a just bummer way. And then on top of it all, Fields didn't even win the MVP. So he has this insane, probably the best year we've had from a quarterback yet, and he doesn't have an MVP to show for it. Unbelievable. So as we end the year, the Baltimore Ravens defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers 29-27. Lamar Jackson is the MVP. Congratulations to him. But just let's see. I know we're gonna have great dev traits because the offense was absolutely popping. This might be one of our. We had a big year with the Colts in terms of dev traits. I think this is going to rival it. We have Justin Fields going up to a superstar. We have Jahan Dotson going up to a superstar. We have Danielle Mooney going up to a superstar. For some reason, David Montgomery didn't. I guess that's probably just coming to the audacious numbers the other running backs are putting up. Defensively, we have Jalen Johnson going up to a superstar. Happy with that. Gibson with his nice season. He went up to a star dev. Conley, who we drafted, had hidden dev. He comes out as a star. I need to see what Zeke did. Before we could even go into the offseason, I got to see what beat Justin Fields' season. Zeke Elliott had 28 touchdowns, 17 and 28. He probably had, what, ridiculous receiving numbers? What's better than 52 touchdowns for my quarterback? Zeke had 1,700 yards, 28 rushing touchdowns to go with what? All right, I'll give a running back getting 39 like, what are these sim numbers? All right, so before the offseason begins, Gibson, I think, earned himself a new contract. Again, the rating's not amazing, but he had a big-time season on the other side of Khalil Mack, so I'm not going to overpay, but I'll throw a deal there and see if he wants to stick, and he does. He's comfortable with the scheme. That's a good start to our free agency period, retaining that production he had last season along with Khalil Mack. And honestly, as we go through free agency, I could be actually intrigued to get big-time kicker here. Justin Tucker, okay, No, he's too old. Screw that. Let's just get, like, the best other young kicker. For the remainder of the rebuild, what, we got 3 years left, 2 years left? One of those, let's get Tyler Bass. But ultimately, looking at the available free agents, corner's really the only spot I think we could look for an immediate upgrade right now outside of kicker. I did say I wanted to get maybe younger at the defensive end spots, but there's just not much there. Like, there's no one there that can take over for Hicks. And you look at the D tackles, like Costin, maybe he's the only guy that you can slide into one of the defensive end spots. He is a scheme fit there. But I'm not, that's not, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's all you can say is, that's literally your exact reaction. It should be like, when you see something that's like, yes, we have to make this signing. This is a guy that can take us over the edge. This is a guy that can make us not want done in the playoffs. This is the guy that somehow, even though he's a D tackle, will have our quarterback throw 50 touchdowns again next year. But you're just thinking this one, Doug Costin, the Bears, you're like, yeah, it's just a waste of money at this point. The only other spot I was thinking about is corner. Jalen Johnson got Mike Hughes. You look at some of the top names here, but they're more veterans at this point, and I've done all of my scouting to focus on corners, and corner is a strong position in the draft. So I think, like, that's just, picture our first round pick is going to be our big addition into our secondary. So let's just grab a kicker and get into the draft. So let's do the corners. We'll get our private workouts here. I have done my due diligence. I'm gonna say this might be the most I've had a position scouted since, the QBs in our Eagles franchise. We're probably, we got to get Duval just in case he slips a little bit, but we are going to be picking in the 20s. We've done our due diligence on all these corners. I assume we'll go, Max Baker. Any other risers? We got a lot of fallers. Not a lot of risers. What was this guy? What's this guy? UDFA, I don't think. That's a great name, though. Emmett Montague from Arkansas State. Sounds hilarious. But let's just go like the next highest corner, I suppose, that we don't have. We'll go, I want someone that can go on the outside. We at least have the scheme fit for this guy, Zach Johnson, so let's see if we can get a little bit more information there. But ultimately, corner is where we are going to invest our first-round pick. It's just a matter of what corner is going to be available when it is time for us to make our selection. And I think that that's probably the best way to go, considering, really the only other corner upgrade there was Stephon Gilmore. And is that going to be a guy that, is that going to be a guy that not only puts it over the edge, but that's going to be a guy that's very expensive on a short-term contract. And, I think he might be there again in future years. If he's just signing these one-year deals and we miss on a corner this year, he might be there in the free agency pool next year. It's the top corner that we can sign. So let's see who's going to be available. Hopefully we have a pick of like a couple corners. At 24 in the first round, it is going to be a corner. Spoiler alert. Let's see what we got here. And it was kind of pillage, to be honest with you. Wow, Jack Johnson, projected UDFA, not good. Let's just start here, work our way up. We got a minute 40 to try to divulge. The skills look pretty bad on this guy, as do the combine. Let's look at Alani Shelton from Florida. Gator bias, sea catching. We don't have anything else scouted. His combine was not great. We got Max Baker. Terrible looking attributes. Combine, okay. Like trending towards good. And these are going to be their best two guys. We got Tyreek Gooden from Washington State. A catching. Ugh. C-man, you don't want to see that. The zone's pretty good. The combine's also pretty damn good. That's probably the leader right now. We have Jonathan rushing. We got B, press, C-man, C-zone. And the combine's not great. So, I mean, there's no home run player, but I think Tyreek Gooden is the best of the bunch. Let's select him. Oh, normal dev. Not what you're looking for. Okay, we did not hit on dev traits, but still could have a high overall. And that's actually not bad. 1-2 punch. I literally grabbed Gooden, hyped him up. 70, well, with the boost, 75, normal rookie. I mean, these are looking like Madden 21 draft picks. You know what I'm saying? The guys that, always the best players, never with dev traits. And then in the second round, I just got the other best corner that I could from a combine perspective, George Cherry. 75 normal. So, yeah. I mean, the rest of the draft was not the best. Blaylock was another player we had some interest in. And, it's one of them years where we got good talent. Let's not get distracted by and just throw them to the trash because they don't have hidden dev. But it's also a tough sell for a competitive roster. Because, these guys have very low ceilings. Year 4, looking to just not underwhelm in the playoffs. Dominate again. I want to see at minimum, I would say 40 passing touchdowns for Justin Fields. I don't want to see no 32. Just last year was an anomaly. I need to see big-time production out of our quarterback again. Rest of the offense, everyone's retained. We all have new dev traits for a lot of these guys, so that gives us a reason to be excited. We had 2 pretty good rookie corners. Be interested to see if any of those guys start to produce. Everything else remains essentially the same. The continuity should only help. And here in year 4, again, playoffs, and I want to see Justin Fields light the league up again. Maybe go on a little bit of a revenge tour, try to win an MVP. I guarantee you right now, I'm gonna go one more week because then we're gonna talk about contracts. We're scoring, 28 has been the most points we've scored all year, and you're not getting 50, 40 touchdowns with that. Right now, we got 13. Oh man, I need to feel like there's a code, and it's like one of those things where you're watching a documentary, like a murder mystery, and you're just like, man, it has to be this complex. What am I missing? What am I not seeing here? And I almost feel like at the end of the day, it's just there's someone you're gonna get so caught up in trying to figure out, what 3 things make my quarterback, make my offense unstoppable that I have yet to figure out how to connect all 3 of those things consistently in Madden 22. And I think it's just more of it's random. At the end of the day, whatever the hell's whatever's spinning under the hood here in franchise mode, it's random. We'll say it's your playbooks, but it's random. You never know, because that's what it feels like, man. Pretty much resigning everybody at this point. We know that we like Eddie Jackson. It's probably a little expensive, but I think honestly, he's going to be the top free safety available on the open market, and for his age, it's pretty good. For the offensive lineman, you got to just pretty much ride these guys into the ground. Let's get White here for another extension. I mean, these are the guys that year 4 going into year 5. These guys you just want for the entirety of your rebuild. So we don't think we can upgrade all of them in this offseason. Which I think between that D lineman, Eddie Goldman, and Akeem Hicks, we'll wait and see. Let them hit the open market potentially, and then worst case scenario, we can look at bringing them back. But ultimately, it goes with Mr. Fields, who's been very disappointing this season, but we just still had to reward him from last year and give him almost $160 million. Dude, we're 3-11. We just lost to there's something. Can we get a breakout player here? At this point, even if it's offense and it's going to be cheesy and automatically, I almost feel like we got to take it so we have a win this year. You know what I'm saying? It was a Cole Kmet looking to get up to superstar, the rest of the guys on the offense that are doing fuck all. Is that what happened? Did we get too many superstars on our offense for it to be good? How are we losing? I'm not even going to check that. I know we didn't hit it. How are we losing all of our games? Last year we were unstoppable. Last year we were the greatest offense, the greatest show. We're literally, we're going to have the first overall pick. Shocking. There's no rhyme or reason to have 50, go from having 50 whatever touchdowns to pretty much losing every game. No injuries. There's nothing. There's like, no, you actually got too good in the offseason, so we're just going to throw you this middle finger. You suck now. And Josh Rosen's going to be the third leading passer in the NFL. You know? Like, honestly, what the fuck? That's all I can say. That's all I can say. We had, like, the number 1 offense to the number 27 offense, and the only thing that happened was my team got better. I'm gonna have to end rant at this point, because you know what? Honestly, I'm probably preaching to the choir. This shit probably happens to you guys in your franchise modes. You're just getting entertainment of me reacting to it right now. 4,200 yards, 26 touchdowns, 13 picks. It's not a bad year. Let's just take a look here. From year 1 to year 2, we saw some progress from Justin Fields. Year 1 to year 2, yeah, that's solid progress. Exploded in 2023, and then he was like, actually, I'm going to have, tied for the worst year of my life, of my career. Awesome. Thanks. Appreciate it, bud. Dave Montgomery did nothing this year by his standards. 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns is solid, but he's been a guy that's like 12 and 15, double-digit touchdowns, well into double-digit touchdowns. Nice year for Mooney, 1,300 yards, 6 touchdowns. Komet, 8-3, 7-3 for Robinson, 7-7 for Jahan Dotson, who broke out last year as well. Defensively, 139 tackles for Roquan Smith. Big year from Khalil Mack. 104 tackles, 14 TFLs, 12 sacks. Nichols with 10, Hicks with 8.5. Gibson just, since we paid him, did nothing. That's awesome. 3 picks, Jalen Johnson. Went from the number 1 offense to the number 26 offense, and like literally, the only thing that happened was we had more superstars on our offense. That's the only thing that happened. I don't know. Look at the yearly awards. Big on the Panthers here. Congrats to them. And then for the individual awards, not a single Chicago Bear. Let's just forget about this year. Absolute joke. Absolute joke. Let's go to year 5. And in the Super Bowl, the 49ers knocked off the Kansas City Chiefs 23-17 with Fred Warner getting the MVP. Congratulations to him. And for our team, honestly, the most disappointing season I think I've had in a realistic rebuild so far. Any rebuild. Do we have any dev trade increases? I feel like that's the only silver lining here. What we got was Allen Robinson regressing, Cody Whitehair regressing, and on the defensive side of the ball, nothing. So for our final free agency period, again, it's realistic rebuilds. I'm not just going to sign the best players. Like, I got Micah Parsons here. Very, very intriguing. I could have probably just signed him, but we need more than Micah Parsons to go on this big-time win. So I got Stephon Tuitt at defensive end. I'm going to try to get the X Factor. James Bradbury gave him the biggest bid, way outbid the Dallas Cowboys here to ensure that we can get Bradbury, come in, be that other outside corner. And then we got Michael Pierce as a run stuffer on the defensive line to take over for Eddie Goldman. And luckily, I was literally going to have to say, I think I have to go pause and get some, eat my vitamins and hard salads and stuff if I did not get all 3 of these guys, which we did. So we've completely added some superstar talent to the defensive side of the ball. Now let's just not be shit in year 5. Oh, we literally have the number 1 overall pick. Oh my god. At this point, you gotta just, defense, edge rusher. Wayne Dunbar looks the best. I just kind of looked through everybody. A finesse, A tackle, B block, shed the physicals. I got 40's good, 3-cone, 20-yard, all fairly solid. This is going to be our selection. Hidden Dev Wayne Dunbar. Should be a good one. All right, let's take a look at our players here. Draft recap time. I mean, it's going to be tough to find anyone that can make an impact this year. And we did well. First 2 picks, like literally 2 spots. I was like, okay, so Gibson at edge, maybe it was a 1-year wonder, even though we paid him and we didn't get Micah Parsons. So I was like, let's get this guy. Dunbar, defensive end, but he's going to kick out to right outside linebacker for us. Actually might be able to play as a rookie. Looks pretty damn good. Powerhouse. Hopefully that's a good dev trade. And then in the second round, we don't have a backup right now. Khalil Herbert left. You got Cohen, I guess, to a degree. But we got Markel Ingram. 80 hidden dev running back. This guy is absolutely incredible. Should offer a fantastic 1-2 punch with David Montgomery. So it's very rare that that going into a year 5, you get any rookies that can contribute. We just got 2 because somehow we were the worst team in the NFL year 4. All right, here we go, year 5. All or nothing for the Bears here on Thanksgiving. Come on, give me something to be thankful for. Offensively, you know what it is. You brought in RB2. That is it. It's the same offense that was 2 years ago unstoppable, the best in the league. Looked like a generational offense. Don't know what happened. On the defense, we added Michael Pierce and Stephon Tuitt, so we should be able to eliminate the run game. We now are throwing in Dunbar, the #1 overall player from the draft, edge rusher with Roquan Smith and Khalil Mack to, ruin QB's lives. We got James Bradbury now, an X factor in the secondary to complement what we have in the very productive Jalen Johnson so far in this rebuild. I mean, I don't know what, if I'm, honestly, I'm going to be upset if we don't at least make the playoffs. I'm not saying we have to win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying I need to see 50 touchdowns on the fields again. But if we don't even make the playoffs, we were the worst team in the league last year. This might have to get sent, condensed from whatever it is, 50-some minutes into a 1-minute video and sent to quality control of the egg. There's something wrong. There's a bug. God damn it. Okay, I just hit sim to midseason. Just give you my live react. Let's see how it is. At week, what is it, 8 or 9 now? I just want to have more wins than losses. And we're 3-4, man. Only a game back, but I mean, come on. Let's just go right to the playoffs. Honestly, if it doesn't work, quicker for you guys to get back to your dinner tables to watch the games here on Thanksgiving. I appreciate you stopping the channel. But if we go on a run, we're going to try to go on a run here. I really do want to hop on the sticks with this offense, see what Justin Fields plays like. Get that scrambler, Wow. What happened there? Very strong finish. Impressive. I was expecting to be very disappointed. And look at this. From the bye. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of our last 8 we won. I don't know, man. I will say this. Saying a lot without saying anything. But I'll say this. For Madden 22 Sim franchise. I don't know what's going on. That's what I know for sure. Looking at our stats here. Let's see what we got. What happened for the Chicago Bears to win the division? Justin Fields played well. 4,000 yards, 35 touchdowns, 14 picks. It's not 50, but it's not whatever the hell he had last year. Big year for Montgomery. Back up, in production. 16 and 13. For our receivers, 1,011 for Mooney, 1,007 for Kmet, 7 and 8 for Allen Robinson. A little bit of a down year for Jahan Dotson, who's kind of been the belle of the ball in terms of realistic draft prospects. We'll never forget 2 years ago when Jahan Dotson put up, that's probably the best year we've had out of any of the big name. We haven't drafted a lot of them yet. We've used Garrett Wilson in the Patriots realistic rebuild. I think that's probably the best year we've had out of any of these wide receivers. I'll never forget it. 85 yards a game. Did not have that kind of impact this year. Defensively, Roquan, 100-some tackles. Huge year for Khalil Mack. 97, 20 TFLs, 15 sacks. 8 sacks from Dunbar. We have his dev trait. It is star because, of course, it is. 7 sacks, Stephon Tuitt. 8 picks. 8 picks, Roquan Smith. Wow. That's insane. So he's Defensive Player of the Year, probably. MVP went to Patrick Mahomes. And in the NFC, the Offensive Player of the Year went to Zeke Elliott. Defensive Player of the Year went to Kayvon Thibodeau, beating out our 2 guys. Thibodeau's up to a 98 overall. Good God. For the individual awards, a lot of lines. Khalil Mack, linebacker. Mike Hughes, best DB. So we're getting a couple awards here. At least it's not a weird year. At least we can go out swinging. You know what I'm saying? So up first, we have the 9 and 8 LA Rams. Let's get into it. Let's go, Justin. Ooh, Jahan Dotson gets away from Jalen Ramsey. Don't want to text, number 5 too much here in this game, but that's a big-time play. So we got here 2nd and 9. See if we can bail the pocket here. Maybe get Kmet in the back of the end zone, potentially. Or let's just do it ourselves, because he has 90 freaking speed, runs away from Aaron Donald, gets the first score of this game, Justin Fields. Oh. Just take the phone. Just take the safety. Easy pass. Cole Quebec, can we run that guy over? He actually kind of does, but it's still up on the 1 yard line. Let's just run away from Aaron Donald here. Get this in. David Montgomery. From behind a pretty solid right-hand side of the line. Or we go right up the middle. Montgomery's like 230. You know, he ain't going down first contact, and the Bears regain the lead. I got baited. Oh, we got baited. We did it because Jahan Dotson said, I'm not letting Kenny Young at linebacker get this pick. What a play bailed us out. I thought as soon as I threw it, got baited. That linebacker's picking that off. Let's go. Okay, just terrible angle by Jalen Ramsey, and Danielle Mooney takes the slants cheese all the way to the house, and I'm happy with that. We get a stop here? Can we score without me having to play? Of course not. My bad. Sorry, my apologies. All right, they just gave him the pick that they should have probably had earlier. Gave it right back. Man, like, is everyone else in Madden, like, just winning them? Like, there must be just dudes, like, forcing wins and stuff. Like, I refuse to believe I'm the only person that, like, has to just do everything in my power in a rebuild to win a Super Bowl. It just doesn't happen organically. And there we go, on 3rd and goal. David Montgomery's able to punch it in. Can our defense, that's been very good all game, get a stop? And they do. Oh, I would just love the game to be able to put itself away, and it does. Thank you very much. 36-33, should have been that hard, but it was. But we got a victory. That's all that matters. Let's just move on and get through this rebuild together, hopefully ending in happiness and not frustration with a Super Bowl win. I'm going to be honest, I'm just simming this one. Call me a Debbie Downer. I just don't really feel like playing full games, right? Like, you know, playing, like, just for once. Just make it easy. Make it realistic. Like, this Seattle team's not keeping up with my Bears squad. It's just quite simply not. Can I just, like, every once in a while, kick my feet up, sit back, take some pride in the work that I've just rebuilt over the last 3 hours, and feel good about the team I just built. And not just be like, oh, well, you know, thank God I was able to hop on the sticks and control everything on my own on offense on All-Pro, where I, you know, more often than not, you can win. It'd be nice for my team for once to be like, you know what? We got you, C4. We're going to hook you up. But you know what happens is they always give you a little bit of hope, and they're going to let the other team score. And then 48 seconds, we turn the ball over, and the rebuild's over. Happy Thanksgiving. I am absolutely, positively still have to play this game. Still having, I'm just, it's like one of those things that's ebb and flows. Like, I was at a point where I just wasn't having a lot of fun in the Eagles rebuild. Then we found some really good all Madden sliders and having some fun with that again. And now we're just at these rebuilds where it's like, oh, what, man, we won a couple. And obviously winning in rebuilds, when you win Super Bowls and rebuilds, it makes you feel happy. But then, like, you just have whatever the fuck this rebuild was. Where it was like, all right, year 3, 50 touchdowns, Justin Fields, awesome. Year 4, worst team in the NFL. Year 5, start very poorly. And then it's like, it felt like if I wasn't controlling every single aspect of this team and these games in these playoffs, this is what's going to happen. I lost. And it was like one of those things where, like, some days I can be like, you know what, guys? Let's do it. I need a Super Bowl win. And then there's other days of like, just fuck this game. And I you know, hope you guys are having a fantastic Thanksgiving. I already know, like, as soon as I unplug, as soon as I go chill out, it's got to be, let's get back to playing the Eagles franchise. And let's take a break from a rebuild for a couple days. Let's record another rebuild and try to get back in the winning saddle with a Super Bowl trophy. But as of right now, on this moment, I need to just thank you guys so much. Hopefully the ups and downs, like, that's the thing that makes me not sad, but, like, I'm trying my best not to be like, C4, do people really want to watch you be upset about this game? And there's going to be people that say, hey, C4, just play what makes you happy. Like, when I win in rebuilds, and it's not all the time, but, like, we'll say, like, 45% of the time in these rebuilds, it's not complete bullshit. There's some bullshit, for sure, but there's still generally a line of, like, if I have a good team, I'll consistently have a couple swings at going on a Super Bowl run, and, like, I can deal with that. I can deal with that. Sometimes you get shoveled whatever the hell this rebuild was. You just want to get out of it as soon and as quickly as possible. So, I mean, hey, and a final point is like, you know, what are you really watching in rebuilds? Are you trying to watch it as a Bears fan, saying, hey, can this guy, you know, get some exciting players, some real players that I see on Saturdays in college, and pair them with the players and stars I see on Sunday, and put all together for a Super Bowl? And that's my train of thought when I do rebuilds. But also, if there's entertainment, and you find entertainment in just seeing the most fucked up, stupid things that can happen in Madden franchise, you get these rebuilds. So again, I'm not frustrated with overall of Madden. I'm not done with rebuilds. I'm not any of that stuff, even though it sounds like it with this rant. It's just this rebuild in particular, we just had to get out. This was our out of just, if we're gonna win, we're gonna win. If we're not gonna win, we were destined to fail. And that's kind of what happened. So thank you guys for watching. I'm just gonna go chill out, take my vitamins, and forget this rebuild ever happened. I'm sorry, Bear fans, but I gave you also the first official Madden 22 rebuild, and you know, with the good comes the bad, which was the end result of this rebuild. But if we can focus on the positives, how about that year 3, baby? 50 touchdowns, Justin Fields, Jahan Dotson, the greatest rookie wide receiver statistical performance season we've had so far in these rebuilds. That was awesome. And then we just, since then, we'll just forget that ever happened. But I'll never forget Justin Fields, Jahan Dotson. I hope you guys don't. I'll see you back here tomorrow with a new Eagles franchise. And always, let me know in the comment section below. Give me a good rebuild. Give me a rebuild that's going to be not necessarily easy, but give me a rebuild that, we're going to win. It's not going to be super frustrating. We're going to eliminate the nonsense as best we can. Let me know what team you want to see rebuilt next, and hopefully we never have something this awkwardly frustrating again. Thanks for watching, guys, and peace out.